Now that you've learned the rack position, we're going to get into the actual practice of the clean. So you're going to start learning from the top, and then you're going to learn to bring it down. This first technique is called the hang style or the swing style clean. So again, just as you started with the rack position, you're going to pick the kettlebell up with one hand, remembering to grip with this base of the palm, and use the second hand to get it into position. Bring it to the rack. Now from here, you're just going to learn to drop the kettlebell down. And then you're going to place it down, and we do the same thing. Just try that a few times. Bring it into position, and you're going to place it down by moving your hips back. From the side view, we're going to do the same thing. One key point here, you're not throwing the kettlebell forward. The kettlebell is actually moving almost completely vertically down. You're moving your hips back. So very much like the backswing that we teach in the swing position. Not pushing it forward, moving the body back so that the kettlebell falls directly down. So here's how it looks from the side. Cheek curl, bring it into position. Now sit back and let the kettlebell fall. Stand up, cheek curl, bring it into position, sit back, let the kettlebell fall. So now that you've learned how to bring it into the rack, and then you've learned how to drop the kettlebell, the next step is simply to reverse the movement. So start from the top, sit back, and then reverse the movement by rapidly extending the knees and extending the hips. So press from the heels, you have a nice vertical line of force moving up. So sit back, let it fall, now reverse. This can be akin to an analogy of starting a lawnmower. It's like you're pulling the handle here. Okay, so this is how it looks. This is the hang clean. Start from the top, sit back, stand up and reverse. Sit back, stand up and reverse. Again, you can use a closed hand, or at the top, I can just as well open the hand. Now a couple points when we're doing the one hand hang clean or swing clean. One point is that unlike the one arm swing, it is not a completely horizontal movement. It has more of a vertical trajectory. So you can think as if you have a wall in front of you. In fact, this is a useful practice. Just make sure it's not a very nice wall, maybe a brick wall or even a fence. Stand in front of the wall. If you come out too far in front of you, the kettlebell is going to bounce off the wall. So I'm real close to the wall here, and I need to learn how to pull it straight up. So again, from the side view, let it fall vertically down, and then stand vertically up. Okay, another key point about the clean is that we do not want to allow the kettlebell to move too far laterally. In other words, I don't want this to occur. If it moves too far laterally, you can put undue stress on your shoulder. Doesn't matter how strong your arm is. If you're using just your arm by itself, it's going to be disconnected from the body, and you're setting yourself up for a potential injury. So again, using the wall as an assistant, you can stand next to the wall, and if you pull too far to the side, it's going to bounce off the wall. So you have to learn to keep this alignment here slightly inside of the shoulder. Okay? Not in line with the shoulder, slightly inside. So if you look at the elbow here, it's almost like a diamond or a triangle shape. Okay? So from this position, keep it real close into you like that. Now, once you've learned the clean, then you don't need to start from the top. You can start from the bottom. You pick it up, you initiate by rocking the hips back, and clean. Okay, there's one more very important point here that we want to discuss about the clean. There's basically two ways that you can clean. There's the hard way, and then there's the right way. Okay, the way that's most difficult is if you pull the kettlebell and let the kettlebell rotate around your hand, there's going to be a lot of deceleration, and it's going to bang into your form. Now, there's a bit of a learning curve. It's going to happen at first, but you can learn to be smoother. So let me show you the way it looks if you do it very rough, where it's banging into your arm. That looks like this. Notice I have to really decelerate, and it's kind of crashing into my body. Now, that's great if it's intentional. In other words, let's say you're a martial artist and you want to condition your forms for impact, then you may want to use that banging technique. But for most of us, we want to develop a smoother technique. So to contrast that, instead of letting the kettlebell rotate around your hand and slam into your form, you want to learn to move your hand inside of the kettlebell. So in other words, you're cutting the kettlebell off or you're intercepting it. Okay? So again, don't let the kettlebell rotate around. You move your hand inside of the handle. So this is an analogy as if you're slipping your hand into a glove. The way you accomplish this is by doing a smaller clean, or a smaller swing. Instead of coming all the way here and letting it crash, I swing only to about chest level, and then I open my hand and punch up. So it's here. So let's see if you can notice the difference. I'll do it the first way with a big arc, crashing. And that's going to bruise your forearm up after a while. Or I can do a smaller swing here, and then I open my hand and slip it in. So this is much smoother. Okay? So that's the one-arm hang clean or the one-arm swing clean.